3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest ISD? What is going on? Your dynamic duo over here.
Oh.
Back on attack here in the new year.
Happy New Year.
That's right. 2024 is starting off with a bang. We have a lot to get into and a lot of great athletics to get into because you are tuned into Scoreboard, your number one stop shop for all things Southwest ISD athletics. My name is Brandan Medina, and as always, I am joined by your athletic director, Mr. Peter Wagner. How are we doing, sir?
Man, we're doing great. I mean, Packers are in the playoffs.
Yep.
Somehow that happened. Don't know what happened with your Vikings, but, enjoy the offseason.
Yeah, looking forward. I watched my franchise quarterback play in the national championship for Washington, so I'm excited to see. But we're excited.
I mean, he's already like a seasoned vet in the NFL. He's like 29 years old.
But we are we have a lot to get into, man. And not only do we have a lot to get into, there is quite the run that one of our teams is on right now.
Yeah,
that we need to definitely dive into, and then we're also expecting some big things from another one of our programs. So there's a lot of stuff we want to talk about. I know we're going to be focusing for sure over probably the next few weeks on basketball, soccer. Those are the two big ones going on right now.
And swim and dive a little bit.
And I know before we get into that, you had mentioned you want to give kind of an update on scoreboards, turf fields, all that stuff coming in.
Really excited today. This is Friday morning, so today we're doing our punch list with Field Turf to hand over our fields,
nice.
To the district, and which is pretty cool because we start softball today.
Yeah.
They've been on them for a while, but this is kind of the official. Hey, they're all yours. Yeah, you're good to go, and stuff like that. And so really excited about the new fields and getting ready to roll. If you go to the gyms, you'll see the jumbotrons up there in the gyms, doing a good job with those, and still working through how to best utilize those. You know what I mean, to get our message out, to really recognize our kids, create a great atmosphere. So we're still learning with that, but doing a great job with those. And then over the next few weeks, we should be putting in the boards at Southwest Legacy Stadium.
Nice.
At the complex at Southwest High School. And then before the season starts in the next couple of weeks, we should have them at baseball, softball at both campuses as well. So really excited about all those things and getting them up and getting them going. So, I mean, you're gonna see the fruition of the investment that the district put in here pretty quick.
Yep.
It's no longer hey, look what we're doing, but look what we did.
Look what we've done. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
it
is
great things
exciting
for our kids and community.
And if you have it, please feel free to go on social media. We've posted videos and pictures of those fields, especially on the baseball ones here at Southwest that got done quick. Those are incredible. You're looking at a facility that looks absolutely top-notch and well-deserved for our incredible athletes. And then the scoreboards, if you've gone to any recent, kind of basketball game here at Southwest, we've been using them, and that's been a fun time. I know you all have had a lot of fun kind of figuring it out of what looks good and how to figure things out there. And so, I mean, this is Southwest ISD as a whole really needed some of this to not only move forward with the times, but also we have had such incredible runs in athletics that I think the students and the fans deserve to see something like that too. So we're excited to provide that. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a full turn circle. This went from idea to now, an actual done deal. So
yeah,
we're excited.
It's pretty neat when you just come to, hey, what about this, to boom, there it is, right? But along those lines too, in the next few weeks will be you're going to see construction fence going up at the Southwest. So you're going to see your bond issue money coming into effect.
Yep.
They're going to start by the beginning of February. We will be demolishing the old press box and starting to build on the new one and stuff in the next month or so. So finishing up some projects and starting new ones and everything. So really exciting times.
Yeah, and for all of those, the very few that are going to miss that press box, there's a lot of excitement coming because that new press box is going to be incredible. And it's nice to revitalize a stadium like that because, as you know, Southwest High School Stadium, Dragon Stadium, is always one of those mentioned in all of Texas as one of the best places to watch a game. It's such a cool atmosphere, and so it's nice to give renovations without taking away that
exactly.
that feeling. So we're excited. But with all that said, anything else that you want to get into before we jump
No, I think
into
those are the big things about what's going on, kind of that you're going to see the experience of coming to our games and stuff like that. So we're excited about those things.
Absolutely. So let's jump into soccer first right now. Soccer's getting going. You looking at these teams. Expectations, are they pretty high for 2024?
I think they're high for all 4 teams at both schools. We're in the middle of the Southwest ISD tournament right now, so right. Today is Redemption Friday for the Dragons boys team, because they took one of their only losses last year on this week to Los Fresnos, and they get to play Los Fresnos again today at 6:30. So that's a big game, but really happy and excited for our Legacy girls. Had a good game yesterday against Laredo Alexander, who's a perennial 6A playoff contender, and we were up all the way till the last part of the game, and then they ended up finishing in a tie, 1-1. But that's big for our girls. Coach Hallmart and Coach Fiddle and Coach Pritchard doing a great job with those ladies over there, and I think it's going to be, you're going to see a step up from Legacy coming back to they're starting to, they're chasing to catch Southwest and where they started. And right. I think you're going to see some pretty cool games. And then same thing for the boys, man. The Dragons went up last week, in the last week of the break, to Georgetown and played some really good competition. In fact, they were probably the game of the week in the state. That first game on Thursday in Georgetown, they played Pflugerville Conley, and a little bit humbled in that one. And that's how, like I told Coach Romero afterwards, I was like, those are the games that you learn who you are and that you grow from to make that next run.
And that's what I was going to get on too, yeah.
And so they didn't win that one. I think they lost to Round Rock High or something like that as well. But So they're kind of like, okay, here we go. And then they had a tough one yesterday. I think they had something like 27 shots on goal yesterday, and made 4 and beat Burbank 4-2.
Yep.
So they're doing it. But here's the deal: the Titans went to Alamo Heights last week to their tournament, and that was a beast tournament. I mean, you're talking about Piper, who's the number 1 ranked team in the region. You had Alamo Heights, who's like number 5 in the region. You had we had El Paso Pebble Hills, Weatherford, and somebody else that was Cedar Park. Cedar Park. And I think we ended up tying or losing 1-0 or something like that to Cedar Park. Mm-hmm. Lost to and then lost a good one to, I'm trying to remember who the first one was, but then we beat Weatherford. And I mean, you're talking about that's as tough a tournament as what the Dragons went to in Georgetown, and they competed really well. And then yesterday they lost to Davenport in the last 2 minutes of the game. They had a corner kick and they headed it in on us. And Davenport's just coming off of, I mean, they're good at everything right now. Smaller school, but the boys team, I think the Fire and Armor Derby is going to be
an interesting one.
Interesting game, and I think it's gonna be fun to watch. And
I'm looking at it. I think both. I think looking at the girls game, you look at the varsity girls squad for Southwest Legacy, and I look at the schedule as it is. You beat Fox Tech.
Which you should.
Right. But then you tie Eagle Pass, right? 3-3. So a competitive game through and through, right? This isn't a 0-0. You're getting shots on goal. And you're
I mean, you look at the 6A district, they played Eagle Pass, tied them, played Alexander, tied them. I mean, they're in the playoff hunt. And
then you beat Floresville, right? But then your only 2 losses are against Lockhart and Bernie, who we know.
Well, Bernie was 2-0.
Yeah.
Bernie's Bernie's a team that beat somebody 21-0 last year.
That's what I'm saying. And then
went to state.
You tie Alexander, and then looking forward, you got Holmes, Martin, East Central, Poteet, United. You could go on a run here if you're Southwest Legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. Your 2 losses are against really good squads. Like it's okay. And so I think that's going to be interesting too. But what I like about it, and you tell me how I guess you look at it from a scheduling perspective or from looking at it from a bigger perspective as far as you on the athletics, running the athletics area. What's interesting about soccer is you're seeing teams that you really don't see here at Southwest ISD. You're seeing Clark and Wagner and all these teams that. So if you're into high school athletics and you want to see something different, and maybe you've already grown tired of maybe South San and Southwest playing it or Medina Valley, whatever. You're seeing teams that you don't have to travel very far. It's right here in our own backyard.
Yeah, you're seeing teams who are playing in the regional finals.
That's what I'm saying.
In the state, at the state tournament, coming over. Like today, the Lady Dragons play O'Connor.
Yeah.
So there's you got Los Fresnos like we talked about, and then tomorrow they play Clark, I think, or something like that.
Yep,
the Dragons do, and so both teams are playing good schedules. But I mean, we've kind of known that on a state level, Southwest ISD soccer is is being talked about as an up and coming type or there, but
and we've known
people to watch out because Southwest blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And so that's pretty cool.
And if you're looking forward to that matchup between Southwest High School and Southwest Legacy and that derby for the Fire and Armor, you have two opportunities. On the boys' side, I'm looking right now. You have right after Valentine's on the 20th of February, and then you got right after we come back for spring break as well. So that's going to be an interesting one. And then when you look at it for the girls' side, if you're looking to come for that Fire and Armor
should be about the same time
game, it should be around that same time. But let me make sure on the schedule just to make sure to tell the people.
I think we're playing them back to back.
Yeah, so both same days. So February 20th and March 19th.
So on February the 20th, what we do is they play like either the girls or the boys go first, and then we flip it on the backside and stuff like that. So the reason for that is so you get to watch all four teams all the time. I mean, both squads all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be a fun time. Switching gears into hoops and basketball. Man, we got to talk about some runs going on over there in basketball too.
So really excited about basketball on the boys and girls side. Growth on the girls side and meeting and then exceeding expectations on the boys side, right? On the girls' side, both teams are in the playoff hunt.
Yep.
They're currently in fifth, but if you look at the schedules, they got games that they should be probably somewhat favored to win tonight, right. and then win who is in fourth right now is probably the underdog in the games that they're playing, and so the district race kind of is kind of shaping up to be Harlandale, McCullum, and Southside, kind of those top three. And then you got Southwest Legacy, and Win, with their each of them having a really big time scorer, fighting for that fourth and final spot. And it's going to come down to if they've all beaten each other. So Legacy beat Southwest by 4 or 5, and then Win beat Legacy by X amount, and then Southwest beat Win. And so it's going to come down to who can get the sweep and who can get the split. And what I mean by that is if they do what they should do tonight and everything, then when Southwest plays Legacy or Legacy when they play each other, that if Southwest beats Legacy, then they got the split. And if they can beat Win to sweep, then they're going to be in the front for that fourth place spot.
Yeah.
If Legacy can beat Southwest and then beat Win at home, then they get the sweep and the split. You see what I'm saying? And then Win's in the same boat. So that's really yeah. And then so they got to do that and then win the games they're supposed to win.
Correct.
And that's how you get to the fourth spot. And so it's going to make it really interesting there. And in the last couple of years, our girls haven't been in that spot. We've just kind of been like, hey, they're doing, hey, keep working hard. You know what I mean? And now they're in the hunt. And so being in the hunt right now is growth. And that's what we look for is how are we growing our programs? Yep. And so on the boys' side, man, I kind of want to save the Dragons for last, but the Legacy boys I was at that game. They had a huge win on last Tuesday against Harlandale. Harlandale was undefeated. Legacy had lost only to South San, which is a great tee up for the Dragons right coming up when we talk about them. But
Well, and
What a great game that was. It was like the Titans, they really controlled the game the whole time, did a great job. They're not as flashy as the Dragons. You know what I mean? They're just just well coached, just grind it out, do your thing, and try to make the right play as many times as humanly possible, and then make shots.
Yeah.
And so in that game, we're up anywhere between 11 to 4 points. It was just kind of going and going, and then for about a 20-second spot, Harlandale takes the lead, and we respond. We choose to respond, just boom, take it back 20, 30 seconds later. Build it, and then they would come back, get within 3. Well, there's about 6 seconds left, and we get fouled, and it's Fuller, and Fuller is a amazing athlete, and he made some big shots, made some big defensive plays, but he's not the greatest free throw shooter in the world and stuff. And so we're watching it, and then we're up by 3. He's just got to make one with 6 seconds. It's pretty much ball game, right? So he comes up there, boink, misses the first one, and go. And so we watch a video every year. Our coaches and when we do our classroom work, all of our coaches, we watch our coaching your inner coach. And part of that video, it says, imagine yourself with the last seconds left in the game, and you got to make a free throw. What would if you posted your thoughts on the video board and it came up, this is what you're thinking. What would those thoughts say? Are they confident, or what are they saying?
Are they shaky?
And so that's our mission in athletics, is to coach our kids' inner coach. So we're trying to make that what he's thinking, help him to have the best shot, have the best opportunity to make that shot, right? So I'm thinking that as he's doing that, going into this last shot, we need one shot, and then Coach Abbott's like, all we got to do is make one shot. Just make this one shot. I was like, I don't know if that's helping or not, but man, that man just comes up and nails it, and I was like, let's go, and so we win that game, and man, you talking about putting the Titans in a great spot to not only make the playoffs but to compete for a district championship.
Well, and you talk about that spot, you get that big win against Harlandale. Next up, you got Medina Valley tonight at Medina Valley, and you've already beaten that team, right? Then you go to win, and if you listen to this show, when you're at win,
you get a win.
That's what we talk about. Then you play Southwest. So you could go on, hopefully, a 3-game winning streak going into Southwest. Get some really good reps to be prepared for Southwest. Because as we lead into the Southwest talk, Southwest high school boys, I don't know. I don't remember a time that they've gone on a run like this in a while. But I know I got.
Well, it is unprecedented. It is unprecedented now.
Yesterday, I got reached out to. I'm not sure if you remember, but my boy Nigel Thompson used to play for the Southwest Dragons, and then my boy Nick Hernandez and Mitchell Martinez, who played for you. We were all to group text, and we're talking, and Nigel and Nick were like, "Hey, Brandan, is Southwest really 20-3? Did I see that right on Max Preps?" And I was like, "They are 20-3. They are dominant." So talk to us about, is this for you, right? And I'm not trying to put you in a spot. I'm just asking, is this exceeding expectations right now? Or do you think, coaching-wise and what you guys were hoping to do, this is just following the game?
I think if you're the few people that listen to our show every week, you know that we've been previewing this since football season.
Right.
Are they overachieving? I think there's a great article on them in the Express News, and it's about, they kind of played. Trey and JoJo played kind of their own ball, and now they're starting to share and use their shooters, and Travis and AJ and those guys and stuff like that, and they're starting to gel a little bit more and play synergize. And would I say they're overachieving? I think that tonight is going to be that. I'll let you know after tonight, because South Sand plays a brand of basketball that is menacing. It is they're going to test our mental toughness in terms of what we like to do, and they're going to take away what we like to do. They're pretty darn good though. Coach Franco always talks about, and Coach Stewart, the way they pressure the ball on defense, but then they can score in just buckets. And I mean, like, you take the Southside game. They went on a 36-4 run in the third quarter.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and different people, you know, you get it to Enrique, you get it to AJ, you get it to Travis, you get it to these guys
Cameron,
that can shoot.
Some of these scores are real close. And you look at that Southside game, 91-44 for Southwest.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and then you do the McCollum game, and we had to hit some shots.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say what I say about South San. It's like South San, and they are so well coached that they can, and they've done it for so long that they can take the air out of the ball. They play like dragon football on the basketball court, and they can really get you out of your game.
Feel uncomfortable.
And then, and you're playing at the Durbin Center. You know what I mean? And that place is very cavernous and a little bit different. And so, how do we respond to that? Because they're always going to be the better team until probably the second or third round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The question is they're also teenagers, and so the question is, how are they going to respond to being? It's a lot different being the underdog than it is being the hunted.
Yeah.
You know, and so we talk about it a lot, like where are they? And in the paper it talked about this is the best run since like the 08-09 season, things like that. And this is the best in school history for as much as we can tell.
Really? For basketball?
For basketball. This is the greatest start since Southwest started.
Wow.
And stuff like that.
You heard it here first, folks.
Well, I don't think so, because I think it's all over Twitter.
All over
it's all over Twitter/X.
You heard it here first in audio format here.
So, I mean, it's exciting time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But shout out to the OGs of the Patrick Brittons and the Kendrick Robinsons and that group was phenomenal. But we also started. We don't have any bigs on this team.
Right.
You know what I mean? That team had a scorer, had some dudes that could play defense with Paris and Mark, and then we had the brothers that I can't remember their names right off the top of my head, but one was 6'10" and one was 6'9" and stuff.
Gracious.
So we went out there and started a kid that put 80 on Kimball.
When I was there in high school, there was definitely nobody walking around 6'9", 6'10", that's for sure.
So those two came in, and then we had Ray Pastrano and a couple of others that still come back, and they're 7-8 deep, and they could make it happen. So they could run, they could play slow ball, they could play big ball, and so but the best start for sure. And they that start, and I'll end it with this. That start is commendable because they haven't played slouches.
No.
You know what I mean? Like when you look at our tournament, they beat teams like Sugarland Dulles. They beat Dulles. They beat they beat Connolly. They were playing like really good teams.
Yeah, you got Corpus Christi.
They beat Harlan, who's in the Harlan.
Yep.
I mean, they're playing teams that are playing to be in the they
New Braunfels.
They beat New Braunfels High. They've beaten 2 or 3 teams in the top 10 in the city, and so that's why they're ranked number 5 in the city. And then they go to. Their only losses are to Madison, and that was on the second game of a back-to-back in a tournament.
Yeah, Rouse and Madison.
And then Rouse is one of the top 5 teams in the state. And then Jay, you watch Jay play, man, they're good, and they're in the top 10 and everything. And that was a
close one.
That was an awesome game to watch. And
they were. I mean, you look at Jay, 80-75, right? You barely got out. Madison, 51-49.
Yeah, and we missed like 3 shots to win the game.
Just a defensive game. But this schedule is panning out nice for them, right?
Yeah.
After today, you got Harlandale, right? Who's going to be another tough matchup. And then you got Legacy, who we just talked about, could be coming in off a 3-game winning streak. But then you go to win.
And a rivalry game.
And when you go to win, you get to win. So hopefully you jump back on board, because after those 2 games, Harlandale, Legacy, and then I think you said they play South San today.
Yeah.
After those 3 games, you got Wynn, Medina Valley, McCollum, Southside. Those are 4 games that you've already been there, done that. You could beat. But then you play South.
Let's not make any bones about this. They are by far the favorite to win the district.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a matter of, like I said, how well do you choose to respond to being the top dog versus, everybody's coming after them. They're going to get their best game from Legacy, from South San, from everybody. How well do you respond? And that's a good test to get you ready for the playoffs.
It is.
But anything other than 10-point wins sometimes is going to start feeling like, oh, we got to do better than that. You know what I mean? That's a tough place to be.
But it also could be
it's a heck of a
pushing
blessing
you,
too.
Yeah, it could be pushing you to expect more out of yourself. And
Absolutely,
around you
yeah.
Too. No, yeah, we got some dogs on this squad, man. It's gonna be exciting.
It's
but
got two of the top players in the city that are playing right now with some darn good, with some really good complimentary players.
If you're looking to catch up on what we're talking about, you got next Friday, the 19th of January, Legacy in Southwest.
And that's a big one, man. Giovanni Aranda,
Those
guys are ready to roll, man.
And then you got one of the last games going into things is going to be right before Valentine's. You got the 13th against Southwest Legacy again. That's going to be at home here at Southwest. And so, again, at Legacy on the 19th and then at Southwest on the 13th. If you want to hear kind of what we're talking about and see it in action, those are two big games for you to go check those out. And don't skip out on the other ones. You got Harlandale coming over here. You got South San. That game's coming up for Southwest. Legacy's going to be playing some big top-notch teams. So, if anything, just plan out a few days. Come watch some soccer. Come watch some basketball. Come see some of the best athletes that Southwest High School and Southwest Legacy can provide for sure.
Yeah. And then I think closing it out, I think we want to just say good luck to the swimmers today.
Correct.
They got they have their last warm-up meet before district next week. Really excited because history's in the making at swim as well. When we get to that district meet, Aiden Diaz is Aiden is he's a swimmer, but he's a diver, and he's one of the top 3 in the region right now, and the top 3 or 4 go to state, and so he'll start that run. I was just sitting in the office there; they were doing their club practice on yesterday or the day before on Wednesday, and I was watching, and man, check out some diving. It's quite interesting.
It is.
He was doing his diving. You're talking about doing like double gainers with a dive. You're talking about like I watched him do like a 1.5 with a twist and stuff like that. You're just like, whoa, that was cool.
And it happens quick. If you're not watching, it's going.
Yeah, so really excited about that. And track season's getting started. Softball officially starts this afternoon. Good luck to our softball and track teams, and I think both of our powerlifting teams started going to their meets this week. So we're off and running in the spring.
A lot of good stuff coming to Southwest ISD. Make sure you tune in with us. We are coming to you every single week. We're coming at you a little later this week, more than normal, but we'll be back on schedule next week. However, we have Scoreboard coming to not only talk about basketball and soccer, but like Coach Wagner said, you have powerlifting, track, which is another big one for Southwest ISD, and then we have swimming and diving, so make sure we give a shout to all those and go support your local athletes and athletics, man. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Brandan Medina. That is Peter Wagner. For all of us here at Southwest ISD, thank you for making Scoreboard your number one stop shop for all things Southwest ISD athletics, and as always, we are
Southwest.
3, 2, 1.